We are getting closer to playoffs. I'm so pumped. This is the best part of football. When we get down to the wire, we get to see what teams are made of, who has it, and who might have lost it. So we have a lot of ground to cover, guys. 14 games on Sunday and one Monday game. Let's get on into it. There are so many good matchups this week, but the one I am the most excited for has got to be the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to the Miami Dolphins. While the Dolphins may have home field advantage, the Chiefs have nostalgic advantage because this is where they won the Super Bowl last year. So while the Dolphins have home field advantage, do they really? I would be just as excited and giddy being a Kansas City Chief coming to the place with the best memories for this team. Now, the Chiefs have already clinched the playoffs in the AFC, so they don't really have too much to worry about. The Dolphins aren't out of it just yet. They may not be winning the division. That's probably going to go to the Bills, but they still could be a wild card. In fact, actually, only the Browns are currently ahead of them. I really like the over for this game. It's 50.5. Both of these teams are going to rack up some points. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite. Yeah, I think they're going to cover, and I would buy a half a point here. Spread them. Another great matchup are the Cardinals that are going to be traveling to the New York Giants. Now, both of these young quarterbacks are very talented. You know, Daniel Jones is coming back from a bit of an injury. In fact, they weren't sure if he was going to play. It seems like he will be okay to start on Sunday. So who is going to win? Also, can we talk about the height difference here? Because Kyler Murray, it says he's 5'11", but I definitely think he might be a little bit shorter. And Daniel Jones, 6'5". Such a difference. Jones has more interceptions currently than he does touchdowns. He has 8 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. And the teams that Jones has won against, I mean, there's nothing to brag about. They beat the Bengals by 2, they beat the Eagles, woo, and Washington by 3. Yes, they beat Seattle, but that was Colt McCoy, not Daniel Jones. So sometimes when these backups come in, they do the impossible. Now, the Cardinals have lost 3 consecutive games, but to much stronger teams. The Giants may be leading the NFC East, but they also have the 31st worst defense in the league. And you know what they say, it's not the offense that wins the games, it's the defense. Kyler Murray is just going to run circles around this New York Giants defense, and we should expect this losing streak to come to an end. The Cardinals are a 2.5-point favorite, and I think they're gonna cover, so spread them. Dallas Cowboys that are going to be traveling to the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton is definitely going to be taking this game personally, and I think that he has everything to prove, and that makes me lean a bit more towards the Cowboys here. I know every time I take the Cowboys, I jinx it, but I'm so crazy I'm going to make this my pick of the week. I really believe that this Cowboy team is actually going to pull out the win here. Also because Joe Burrow is injured and not going to be starting in this game, so they have their backup in. Yeah, this matchup is actually backup versus backup, so which backup is going to win? I'm gonna take revenge Dalton. I think he has something to prove to this Cincinnati team who let him go. The spread's 3 points favoring the Cowboys, and I think they can cover that, so spread them. All right, let's get to it. My Philadelphia Eagles are gonna be hosting the New Orleans Saints. Doug Peterson has seen the light. He finally gave us what we wanted. Unfortunately, it is to such a difficult team like the Saints. Do I think Jalen Hurts is gonna come out and just wow us? No, probably not. In fact, actually, I've been begging for this, but the truth of the matter is, I don't know that Jalen Hurts is ready either. Anything is better than what we were doing. Wentz doesn't have it right now. Let's not get him hurt even more. Bench him. Let's see what the kid's got. Our season's pretty much toast anyway. And if he doesn't have it, cool, great. We'll pick up another quarterback next year. Or give us Taysom Hill, Saints. He's so good. Damn. There's not really much more I need to say here, guys. Let's be real. The Eagles are going to lose. Don't think it's going to be a blowout, though. I think Hurts is going to keep it kind of close. The spread is only 6.5 points. The Saints are actually only going to win by 1 touchdown, so run, lock it in. That way, the Saints will cover. Spread them. The Atlanta Falcons are a 2-point favorite as they're going to be traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Now, the Chargers just got their butts whooped last week. Herbert got his first shutout, but so did the Chargers. First team this season to be shut out completely. Not even 1 point against the Patriots. And I'm not talking about 2017 Patriots, you know, Tom Brady, Super Bowl champs. No, I'm talking 2020, post-coronavirus, Cam Newton and lost by 21 points last week. I'm gonna have to go with the Falcons here. Even though Julio Jones is gonna be out this game, his hamstring injury is still bothering him, but I have a little bit more faith in Matt Ryan than I do right now with Justin Herbert is a bit scared after last week. So Falcons for the win, and they'll cover the 2 points. Spread them. The Washington football team did it. They took down the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Out of all the teams in the NFL to take down the Steelers, I did not think it was going to be the Washington football team. But it was. And they're actually on a 3-game winning streak right now. Sure, the other 2 teams were to Dallas and to the Cincinnati Bengals, but hey, a win's a win, and they are on a bit of a hot streak right now. 49ers will have to use their home field advantage, not as an advantage. In fact, it has to be in Arizona. They are still a 3-point favorite. Because the NFC East sucks so badly, there's definitely no chance for the team that comes in second in the East to make it to even the wild card. Washington has something to play for here. Take Washington money line, but if you're not feeling as risky, take them for the spread, you get 3.5 points. The Green Bay Packers are at the Detroit Lions this week, and it is the Packers. Done. Now we need to talk about the spread. Currently, Vegas and pretty much every casino have Green Bay as a 7.5-point favorite. DraftKings has them as a 9-point favorite. So that probably means the spread is going to jump up, and maybe they know something that we don't. Either way, I would run and lock in 7.5 because I do think Green Bay will cover. I would actually buy a 0.5 point here, though, just to give yourself a little bit of cushion. I do think they're going to cover by more than a touchdown, but you just never know, and they'll either push or they'll cover. So spread them. So now let's talk about one of the higher spreads this week. The New York Jets take on the Seahawks. The Seahawks are a 14 home favorite. Last week, they lost to the New York Giants. Could they lose back-to-back to both New York teams? Considering the Jets are 0-12, probably not. I'm gonna go with not, though. So last year the Dolphins were tanking for Tua. I think the Jets are gonna be losing for Lawrence. Darnold wants to win. He's only 23 years old. He was just drafted 2 years ago. He needs to prove, and maybe they should trust in him as a quarterback. I don't actually think the Jets should. I've been kind of saying this also for 2 years, that I didn't see star quality in him. I think he's gonna be an amazing quarterback. I just don't think he's gonna lead you to a Super Bowl. Will they keep this game close enough? Last week, the Jets surprised all of us and came so close to getting their first win against the Las Vegas Raiders, 31-28. Just don't think that the Seahawks are going to cover by over 2 touchdowns. So taking Jets plus 14, wow. Probably the only person that's going to take that. Speaking of the team that the Jets almost beat last week, we have the Las Vegas Raiders that are hosting the Indianapolis Colts, and it's Carr versus Rivers. Even though the Colts won last week, it was not pretty. In fact, it was such a close game against the Houston Texans, and they got very lucky with a play at the end. So it was not a beautiful win, and the week before, they lost to the Titans. So their mojo is a bit off, but then again, so are the Raiders. They are always up and down, and you never know what Las Vegas team is actually going to show up. There's a bit more pressure right now on the Raiders to win this game, considering they hold the last ranking position right now for the wild card game, and there are a couple teams in the hunt that would love to kick them out of there. I'm going to go with the Colts on a road win, and I think they're going to cover 3 points, so spread them. Now this next matchup you might not be that excited for, considering the fact that one of the teams is 4-8 and the other is 5-7, so two pretty mediocre teams, nothing too amazing to watch, except this is the first time that Mitchell Trubisky and Deshaun Watson are going to be facing each other. And why that is so exciting is they were both in the 2017 NFL draft. In fact, they were both first-round draft picks, except Trubisky was actually the 2nd overall pick, where Watson was the 12th. Definitely think that the Houston Texans made the right choice. Every Bears fan right now is just dying inside. Watson has continued to show such promise. Now, the team in itself has been hurting drastically since obviously they got rid of Hopkins, which I still do not understand, but hey, I've decided to let that go. Finally. So I'm gonna take the Texans for the win, and they are a 1.5 point road favorite. Sure, they can win by a field goal. Spread them. The Broncos are at the Panthers this week, but McCaffrey is still going to be out. It's not even about his old injury. He got a new injury. Sure, the Panthers have won a ton of games without McCaffrey this season, but it's poor kid can't catch a break. That's a huge, huge loss for the Panthers, and the Broncos have a lot of making up to do when they lost their quarterback that week. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I'm gonna take the Broncos for the win as an underdog. And if you don't believe me, that's fine, but take them for the spread. You get 3.5 points, and I just think that's slightly too high right now. Risky, money line, safe, spread. Minnesota Vikings that are going to be traveling to Tom Brady's, I don't know why I'm giving him the entire team, but yes, Tom Brady's Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They had the very last bye week, pretty late in the season actually. A well-rested Brady at home, I think, is a pretty easy bet. Buccaneers for the win, and I think they're going to win by a touchdown, so spread them. Now, the 8-4 Tennessee Titans are going to be traveling to the 1-11 Jacksonville Jaguars. So obviously, it's the Titans. Let's talk about the spread. Titans are a 7-point favorite here. They should cover, but what I'd really rather you guys do here is actually take the over. Because the last time these two played each other, it was actually over 60 points, and the Titans are coming off of a tough loss against the Browns. Totaled 76 points, so yeah. As long as the Jacksonville Jaguars can put up some points, I think you're pretty safe with the over here. And considering the fact that actually the Jacksonville Jaguars pretty much usually get around 20 points, minus when they played the Pittsburgh Steelers, they only got 3, but this Pittsburgh Steelers defense is amazing. So going to take Titans for the spread. I think they were just so embarrassed last week that they're gonna come stronger than ever. 7-1 Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna be traveling to Buffalo to take on the 9-3 Bills. Really like the Bills in this game, so much so that it's a pick of the week. Yeah, definitely. Easily my pick of the week. The Bills team is just stronger. Done, easy. Let's move on. Monday matchup. I am unbelievably pumped to watch the Baltimore Ravens take on the Cleveland Browns. Lamar Jackson go up against Jarvis Landry, Chubb, and Hunt. Not so much Baker. And that is kind of interesting considering the fact that I think the stars of the Browns are the amazing offense and defense. The Browns are home. The Ravens are actually a 3-point favorite here. And I think this game is just going to be so close that I like the Browns for 3 points here. I'm just not seeing the same Ravens team that I saw last year. And I'm seeing a really, really great Browns team this year. Definitely take the Browns. And guys, that is my show. Leave me a comment below. Have a great weekend and happy Football Sunday.